Hi, K-pop lovers. Welcome back to our channel. Before we get into it, if you're a fan of babymonster or you just love discovering moments in K-pop that genuinely give you chills, hit that like button right now, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below telling me your favorite Ahyeon moment, because by the end of this video, you are going to have a lot to talk about. And trust me, you want to stay until the very end, because the last moment we cover? It might just be the one that explains everything about who Ahyeon really is. If you've ever watched Ahyeon on stage and felt like you literally could not look away, you're not imagining things. And today we're going to talk about exactly why. Like, subscribe, and stay until the end, because the last story in this video might be the one that hits the hardest. April 2023. babymonster hasn't officially debuted yet. YG Entertainment is introducing each member one by one through pre-debut performance videos. And then it's Ahyeon's turn. The song she picks? Dangerously, by Charlie Puth. Not an easy song. Not a song you can half-heartedly pull off. But Ahyeon didn't just sing it, she owned it. Her voice was full, warm, emotionally loaded, and so mature that people who had never even heard of babymonster before stopped mid-scroll and hit replay. The video eventually crossed 50 million views on babymonster's official YouTube channel. But that's not even what made the internet completely lose it. What broke everything was when Charlie Puth himself, the original artist, left a comment saying, "I loved it." Charlie Puth, one of the biggest pop artists in the world, noticed. A pre-debut K-pop trainee. And it didn't stop there. He was so impressed that he later gifted babymonster a track called Like That, which ended up on their debut EP babymonster in April 2024. A pre-debut cover turned into a gift from a world-class musician. That's not something that just happens. That's Ahyeon. Fast forward to April 2024. babymonster has officially debuted, and the members appear on the iconic Korean variety show Knowing Brothers. This is where a moment happened that fans still talk about to this day. Ahyeon picks up the mic. She performs Dangerously live, right there, in front of the entire cast, no studio polish, no safety net. Just her voice and that room. And the room's reaction said everything. Kang Ho-dong, a man who has witnessed thousands of performances across decades in the entertainment industry, looked at this young girl and said, "She looked so young all day, but the moment she grabbed the microphone, she was a total pro." The entire cast stood up. A standing ovation. On a variety show. Because that is the Ahyeon effect, she makes people forget they're watching a rookie. But here's where the story gets deeper. And this is the part one really need you to pay attention to. When babymonster started performing regularly, fans immediately noticed that Ahyeon brought an energy that was almost impossible to ignore. She wasn't just executing choreography, she was feeling every single beat. Hair flips, power moves, explosive intensity every single time she stepped on stage. At first, people loved it. Then came the backlash. Some netizens started criticizing her for overdancing, too excessive, too dominant, accused of overshadowing the other members. Just like that, the same energy that had thousands screaming her name became the thing she was being punished for. So what did Ahyeon do? She listened. She toned it down. She pulled back and tried to find balance. And you know what happened next? A completely different group of people started criticizing her for that, saying she had become lazy, that her stage presence had dropped, that she wasn't giving enough. There were threads, forums, viral posts, all debating whether Ahyeon was performing too hard or not hard enough. And somewhere in the middle of all that noise was a real person, a teenager, trying to figure out how to exist in this industry without always being wrong. One post that spread widely said, "She's only 17. People told her not to be overly energetic, so she toned down. Now they're saying, why is she being so energyless?" That hit hard. Because it was true. Ahyeon was trapped in an impossible standard, too much when she gave everything, not enough when she held back. But she kept showing up. She kept performing. She never stopped. Then came the 2025 Mama Awards. Babymonster delivered a special performance where Ahyeon took on Eji's parts as Rumi. It was bold, ambitious, and polarizing. Some praised it, others criticized Ahyeon's live vocals during that segment. Then a clip went viral, footage of Cortis's James in the audience, visibly reacting with a pained expression during Ahyeon's high note. The internet immediately erupted. Fans defended Ahyeon, and many also defended James, pointing out that hearing a powerful live high note right in front of your face naturally creates a physical reaction. But none of that mattered. The drama had already spread, and Ahyeon was once again at the center of a storm she never asked for. After the ceremony, Babymonster flew to Japan for their next schedule, and Ahyeon's airport photos that appeared online stopped fans cold. She's usually the warmest one at airports, always smiling, always stopping to genuinely talk to fans like old friends. But this time she looked exhausted and withdrawn, head down, headphones on. Fans who saw those photos knew exactly why. And that made it heavier to watch. And yet, Ahyeon showed up the next day. And the day after that. And every single day since. Because here's what all that controversy, all that hate, all those impossible double standards could never take away from her, who she actually is. And that brings us to the moment that, in my opinion, defines Ahyeon more than any stage, any viral clip, any high note ever could. It didn't happen at an awards show. It wasn't caught by a fan cam. It was a story that recently spread online about an ordinary day at an ordinary Korean barbecue restaurant. A fan was working a part-time shift there when Ahyeon came in to eat with her father. The fan recognized her, told her they were a fan. Ahyeon responded warmly and reached out for a handshake. But the fan hesitated, their hands were dirty from cleaning, they felt embarrassed, and explained this to Ahyeon. And Ahyeon's response? Hands that got dirty from working aren't dirty. And then she shook their hand anyway. That story spread everywhere, not because it was dramatic, not because it was spectacular, but because it was real. The kind of kindness that doesn't come from a PR team or a management script. It comes from someone who genuinely sees people. Someone who, despite being called a superstar, still chooses to treat a working stranger with more warmth and dignity than most would even think to offer. That is Ahyeon. The girl who could silence a room with a single note. Who gave 100% on stage until someone said that was too much. Who then held herself back and was told that wasn't enough either. Who showed up to the airport with exhausted eyes after one of the hardest nights of her career. Who on an ordinary day, in an ordinary restaurant, chose to see someone's dignity when they couldn't see it themselves. And through the Hello Monsters World Tour, which kicked off in January 2025 at the KSPO Dome in Seoul and took Babymonster across North America, through Japan where they drew 150,000 fans and set a record as the fastest K-pop girl group to achieve that in a single Japan tour, and all across Asia, at every single city, at every single stop, Ahyeon delivered. There was also the moment at Rosemont during the North American leg of the tour, when fans spotted Ahyeon with a bold new look, a lip piercing that immediately sent social media into overdrive. Confident. Unexpected. And so distinctly her. Fans completely lost it, in the best way possible. Because Ahyeon doesn't just perform. She evolves. And every time she does, everyone notices. So what is the one moment Ahyeon stole everyone's attention? Honestly, it was never just one moment. It's 100 moments stacked on top of each other. A pre-debut cover that made Charlie Puth say, "I loved it." A live performance that earned a standing ovation on a variety show. Surviving criticism that swung from opposite directions without ever letting it break her. Standing at an airport with tired eyes and still being present. Shaking someone's dirty hand in a restaurant and reminding them their hard work was worth something. Every single one of those moments was a Ahyeon. And every single one stole someone's attention for the exact same reason, because they were real. In an industry that constantly demands perfection, Ahyeon keeps choosing to be human. And somehow, that humanity is more captivating than any perfectly executed high note could ever be. If this video reminded you why you love Ahyeon, or introduced you to her for the very first time, please give it a like, share it with someone who needs to know about her, drop a comment below with your favorite Ahyeon moment, and if you're not subscribed yet, now's the time. See you in the next one. Ahyeon.